Hi boys and girls, welcome to Miss Floatie's Imaginarium. Today we're going to go on an adventure and we're going to read a story called Toads on Toast. Once we're finished reading our story, we're going to go ahead and do a fun activity. Are we ready? Toads on Toast, written by Linda Bailey and Colin Jack. Fox was bored. Every day it was the same. Walk to the pond, catch a big fat toad, bring it home, skin it, boil it, eat it. I need a change, said Fox. He headed for the cookbook store. The toad section was amazing. Who knew there were so many ways to cook a toad? As Fox turned the pages, he noticed something surprising. Every single recipe called for small toads, young and tender. Gee, said Fox, so that's where I've been going wrong. That evening, he set out for the pond as usual. But this time, instead of looking for a big fat toad, he looked for small toads, young and tender. It was hard work. Those toadlets were fast. By the time Fox got home, he was all puffed out, but he was carrying a lovely, bouncing sack of fresh young toads for dinner. This is going to be so great, said Fox, as he dumped the toads into a bowl. He opened the first cookbook. Suddenly, a huge mother toad came rocketing through the window. "Stop!" she cried. "What are you doing?" "I'm trying to concentrate," said Fox. "Now let's see. Toad muffins, toad soup, toad stir fry." Mama stared aghast at her babies. "You're going to eat them?" "Ah," said Fox. "Here's a good one. Toad legs." "No," said Mama, "not their legs. They have such beautiful legs." "I noticed," said Fox, licking his lips, "especially the wincy ones." "Stop!" cried Mama, throwing herself across the book. "Take me instead." Fox thought about it, but the recipes were clear. "You're too old and stringy," he said. "Sorry." And he reached for his knife. "Ah!" cried Mama Toad. "Wait! There must be a better recipe. Their poor little legs are so thin, hardly a mouthful." Fox glanced at the toadlets and frowned. It was true that their legs were quite scrawny. Mama glanced at the toadlets too. She was not pleased. "Calvin," she bellowed, "get away from that butter." "Why?" said Calvin. "Because I said so," said Mama. "Hey," said Fox, "here's a good recipe. Toads on toast. Looks easy, too." Mama hopped over to take a peek. "Well, maybe," she said. "Do you have garlic?" "Yes," said Fox. "Bread?" "Yes." "Pepper?" "Yes." "Truffle oil?" "Truffle oil?" Fox peered at the book. "It doesn't say anything about truffle oil." "Well, it should," said Mama. "Everyone knows you can't make toads on toast without truffle oil." "Where'd you get that crummy book anyway?" "Uptown," said Fox with a frown. "Listen," said Mama, "I'm going to help you out. I have a better toad recipe, a secret favorite recipe that's been passed down in my family. You're going to love it." "What's it called?" asked Fox. "Toad in a hole," said Mama. Said Fox. "It has toast," said Mama. "You like toast, right?" "Oh, yes," said Fox, rubbing his paws together. "I do love toast." "Well, you slice some bread," said Mama, "while I see to my kids. Brucey, Loretta, get out of that honey pot." "Ready," said Fox. Mama hopped over. "Excellent," she said. This bread is perfect. Just make a hole in the center. Goody, said Fox. This is easy. Next, said Mama, you butter the bread and put it in a frying pan. Arlene and Elvis, stand back. Yum, said Fox. I love butter. And now, said Mama, you break an egg and you pour it into the hole. An egg, said Fox. Not a toad? An egg, said Mama firmly. Then add salt and pepper. No toads? Asked Fox again. Trust me, said Mama. Now flip it over and sprinkle some Parmesan cheese. Hey, said Fox, wait a minute. There's something funny going on here. What about the toads? Try it without, said Mama. Fox grumbled a little. He pouted and stared at the toadlets. But he did take a nibble, then a bite, and then, wow, said Fox, this is delicious. You see, said Mama, it doesn't really need toads. That's the secret. By golly, you're right, said Fox. I'm going to make another one. And so he made another, and another, and another, enough for everyone. Mama Toad set the table, and they all sat down to eat. And Fox, being a lazy fox, never again went to the trouble of looking through his recipe books. He didn't bother to catch any more toads either. And later, when he had children of his own, he passed Mama's secret recipe on to them. Toad in a hole became a favorite recipe in the Fox family. And it can be a favorite in your family too, as long as you don't add toads. The end. Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to Miss Floatie's Imaginarium. Today, we're in the kitchen, and we are going to be doing an activity that we are going to create toads in a hole. Don't worry, there won't be any toads being cooked. Today, we're going to get our ingredients ready. So we need a piece of bread. We're going to need an egg. You're going to need a glass or a round item that we can cut a hole into our bread. You're going to need a spatula, some salt and pepper, and some butter to butter the toast. Now, Miss Floatie is going to be using my pan and my portable stove to be doing the activity today. If you guys are not old enough to do this on your own, make sure you've got Mom and Dad supervising you today or helping out. So let's go ahead and get started. So if we look at our recipe, which will be showing on the screen here, it says Mama's Toad's Secret Toad in a Hole Recipe. If you remember in the book, the secret was no toads at all. So we're going to do that recipe today. So first, let's butter the bread. So you're going to grab some butter, and we're going to butter our piece of bread. Make sure everything is covered, just like that. Now, the next part of our recipe says we're going to put a hole in the center of the bread. So grab your round circular item. For Miss Floatie, it'll be a glass. And we're going to put it right into the middle of the bread. Just like this. So now we have a small circular size, and we've got our bread that's got a nice big hole in the middle. Now the next part of our recipe, let's take a look again. It says we are going to place our bread in the frying pan. So Miss Floatie is going to go over to her frying pan and she's going to turn it on. Perfect. Like I said, if you are not old enough to do this on your own, make sure you have mom and dad's help. Perfect. Now, we're going to melt a little bit of butter in the middle of our hole. So let's go ahead and put our bread into the frying pan. All right, so our bread is in our frying pan. Okay, I suppose I'm gonna put some butter in the middle. And we're gonna let it melt. Perfect. We can spread it around a little bit so it gets everywhere. Next step is we are going to put our egg into the frying pan. So we're gonna go ahead and crack it, put it into the frying pan. Just like that. It says we're gonna put a little bit of salt and pepper. So you can go ahead and put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper on our toad in a hole. All right, once we see that the egg is starting to cook at the very bottom, we're then going to take our spatulas and we're going to flip it over. All right, let's go ahead and flip our toad. Ready? All right, so Miss Floatie's egg, if you can see, kind of spilled over a little bit, and that's okay because it's still going to be very delicious. Now we're going to wait for the other side to cook. While we're waiting, go ahead and get a plate ready so that when it is finished, we can put it on a plate. Miss Floatie likes to make sure we're tidying up a little bit as well. All right, so we're going back to our recipe, and then it says to flip the bread over. While we're waiting, why don't we go ahead and butter our small round piece of bread that came out of the middle of our bread, because when our egg is done, we're going to fry this piece of bread as well. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and say that mine is finished. So Miss Floatie's going to make sure she turns off her portable stove. I'm going to take my egg and I'm going to put it on my plate. Now, while my pan is still hot, Miss Floatie is going to take our small round piece of bread and I'm going to put it into the pan. Perfect. As you can see here, it is getting nice and toasted. Once this is finished toasting to your liking, I'm going to take it out of the pan here and we're going to go ahead and put it on our toad in a hole. And there we have it, our toad in a hole. The secret is, remember, no toads. That is the end of our activity today. You guys did a really awesome job making toads in a hole from our book, Toads on Toast. If you guys enjoyed doing the activity with Miss Floatie, don't forget to like and subscribe to my page, and we will see you guys next time.